Hi guys, it's me. I'm back. Just making another what's for dinner video. Realistic. So this night we had chicken parm, and as like with most of my recipes, things are optional. You can change things up, switch the seasonings out, season it more liberally, less salt, more salt, whatever. So this night for the chicken parm, I just used one chicken breast. That's all we need here. I cut it thickness in half, and then I cut it in half again, like lengthwise, so that the chicken was easier to cook. I seasoned it with just salt, pepper, garlic, but like I said, you could season it with anything that you want. Season it on both sides real good, and then you're going to need your little assembly line. You're going to need your egg. I use one egg for every breast, and then some breadcrumbs. These are some seasoned Italian. So then you're just going to get your stove going and get some oil in your pan. Get that heated up so that you have somewhere to cook your chicken. You're going to need to fry your chicken before you put it in the oven. So here I am just getting my pan ready. And then in the background, you see I have a pot of water because I love to serve my chicken parm with some kind of pasta. So there's my water. I'm just going to salt it up. You don't have to salt your water. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, just depending on what it is. So once my water was boiling, or almost boiling there, I used these penne chickpea pasta. There is a ton of protein in this pasta if you're looking for a pasta with a lot of protein. Now your assembly line. You're going to grab your piece of chicken and you're going to put it in the egg, get it coated good with the egg, and then you're going to throw it into the breadcrumbs. Get the whole thing coated pretty well, and then you're just going to repeat this process with all of your chicken. Then once your pan is hot, you're going to put your chicken down into the pan. And I like to just flip my meats once. So get it down, cook it up until it's golden brown on one side. I had to add a little bit more oil because the breadcrumbs really soaked the oil in. So I would rather add the oil than have it swimming in too much oil. So I'm just using some jarred sauce. You can make your own. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This is, like I said, a realistic weeknight meal, so I did not. Just add some sauce to the bottom of the pan. I am pretty liberal with my sauce because we are sauce people. So here I am flipping the chicken. Just got it real nice and crisped up, golden brown. And when that was all done, just plopped it down into the sauce. Now, I use a lot of sauce, like I said, but I will also, when this comes out of the oven and my pasta is done, I will use the sauce from the chicken to put onto my pasta. This is just my way of, I guess, heating up the jarred pasta sauce, because sometimes I'll doctor it up and add some stuff to it, but this night it was just, I was so busy, had work, so just doing it the easy way. So I pretty much smothered that in sauce because I will use that sauce for the pasta too. And then I'm gonna top it with some mozzarella cheese. This is some mozzarella cheese that I have already pre-grated and just stuck bags into the freezer, and I'll take one out at a time and use them as I need. So I'm just going to top this chicken with some mozzarella cheese. And you can even make this into a freezer meal. So once it's topped with the cheese, Then I'm going to put it into the oven at 350 until the chicken is pretty much cooked. I'm just going to put it in there until it comes out bubbly. So my pasta's done. And this meal has a ton of protein in it. So my chicken, I was having a hard time with my oven. The rack didn't want to come out. But chicken's done. And there it is, all plated up. Then the next night we had some, I know it looks gross. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh wow, that looks really disgusting. What is that? But these are soft shell crabs. They are amazing. If you haven't had one, this is your sign to have one now. I get these when I go to the beach, and then I put them in the freezer for when I really get in the mood for one, because these are one of my favorite things to eat. So I just seasoned this with some Old Bay seasoning, and that was it. These really don't need much. They are amazing on their own. So again, these are going to be something that you're going to coat, but because they're pretty liquidy, we don't need to first put these in egg or anything else. So we're just going to get the flour in a bowl, and again, just use that Old Bay seasoning to season up the flour, and give it a little mix, and that's pretty much it. That's what you're gonna coat your soft shell crabs in. So it's pretty self-explanatory. What you do is you take the crab, and just like you did with the chicken, you're just going to dredge the crab through the flour to bread it in the flour. And you're just going to repeat the process until they're all breaded. In the meantime, I was heating up my air fryer, or my deep fryer, because that's where these are going to go, into the deep fryer. Look at that baby. How beautiful. It's just a crab with a soft shell, and you eat the entire thing. You don't take the shell off, you don't take anything out of it, you don't have to pick it apart, and they're just amazing. If you are a texture kind of person, these might not be your thing. So here I am, just putting them into the air fryer. I'm gonna put them down into the air fryer. Yeah, like I was saying, these get really crispy on the outside. If you like that kind of thing, that's great, but the inside does stay a little bit softer, so you do have to be careful with that. So we're just gonna put these down into the air fryer, and they're gonna get crispy and fry up. In the meantime, I just took a bun. I like brioche buns, but I used what I had. I just had regular hamburger buns. And I put the, so I just put some salad mix down onto the bun, and a little tomato, and then I put some cocktail sauce onto the bun. And then these soft shell crabs were various sizes, so I put 2 of them on there because they were like medium and smalls. And just top it up with your bun, and there it is. Soft shell crab sandwich. And this, so I have some water on boiling, and for this specific thing that I'm doing, I didn't salt or oil any of the water. I'm going to be making these goat cheese and caramelized onion raviolis from Aldi. So that water is almost to a boil, and then we'll throw that in and cook it up. So we're just going to throw those raviolis right in there and let them cook up. So we're just going to heat up some of this got this truffle sauce at, I believe it was TJ Maxx, and we're just going to heat this up to put it over top of our raviolis. Very simple night. So now that the sauce is not so chunky and has cooked down, now we're going to turn it off and put it over our ravioli. So now we're just going to spoon the sauce over the ravioli. And I only put a handful in there because I'm not sure how I'm going to like them. We might be doing grilled cheese, but we shall see. And I will let you know. And this sauce, I tasted it. It's very powerful, so I'm not going to put a ton of it on. And we'll let you know how it is. So this night I just made some fried rice. Here I have just some vegetables that I have already chopped up early in the week. They were some zucchini, some squash, some carrots, mushrooms, bell peppers, red onions. Pretty much any vegetable that you have on hand would go good in here. This is kind of like a use it up meal. So I had some leftover rice, and that's what I used for this. So you're going to want to put a few tablespoons of oil into a pan. And to that I added my thicker vegetables, my harder to cook vegetables. So I have these veggies just kind of frying up, and I'm going to let them get a little bit soft. These are the veggies that take longest to cook out of the other ones. So I'm going to let these fry up until they get a little bit soft, and then I will add the rest of my vegetables. This is one of my favorite things to do when I get vegetables, when I bring them home. I like to chop some up and keep them in the fridge or in the freezer. So when I do things like this, it's so much easier just to pull it out and just have it there. So I could use these bags of like veggies. The bag that I had with the mushrooms, the onions, and the green pepper, I could use those for pizzas. I could use them for Ravioli. I could use them for something like this. So I like to have those. And when you cook them, it doesn't really matter that they're wilted because they're getting cooked anyway. So to this, I'm going to add some soy sauce. You can add regular soy sauce. You can add the sodium. I use the ginger soy sauce. I love ginger. So I went in there with a few tablespoons of soy sauce. And then I used some ponzu sauce. So it's kind of like a citrusy soy sauce. You don't have to use this. You can just go straight in with the soy and that's it. I just have these things in my refrigerator, so just trying to use them up. Then I use some sriracha. Again, you don't have to use any of the things past soy. You can just strictly use soy. And then I have some unagi sauce that I like to put on sushi. So I put some of that in there and just let these kind of cook a little bit more with the sauces. And if you do not use all the other sauces, because people have all different condiments in their refrigerator and you might not have exactly the same ones I have. So if you don't and you're just going to use soy, you're going to want to use more soy than what I use. So into that, I'm just using some steak that I had. I just had a leftover steak that I just cut into little cubes. And I'm just going to mix that all up so that can get seasoned with the sauces. And mix that up real good. This is one of my son's favorite meals. He could eat this entire pot himself in one day. And actually this night, the dog jumped up when we weren't looking and pulled the bowl right onto the floor, smashed the bowl, and ate the entire bowl of food. So we know that the dog likes fried rice. So I just made a well in the veggies, and I stuck all of the leftover rice into the well. And just going to, this rice could be cold. This rice could be in the refrigerator for 2 days. This rice, it does not have to be. It's actually better, in my opinion, when it's leftover rice, because if it's fresh rice, I don't feel like it crisps enough when it fries. So I'm just gonna mix this around with the veggies, get it coated with the sauces, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna let it cook and just warm through. And it looks amazing already. This is so versatile, this meal. You can use any vegetables that you want. You can use any sauces that you want. I just like to watch myself stir it around. What a dork. So now, once the rice is pretty well incorporated and it's warmed through, you're going to make another well. And here I have scrambled 3 eggs, and you're going to dump that into the well. Now you want to let this cook pretty good. You don't want to stir it until it has some time to sit there in the pot. So now what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of garlic in there. You can add as much or as little as you'd like. And once the egg has cooked on the bottom, you can start stirring the egg around. You do not want to stir this into the rice because it'll just get mushy, and then it's hard to have all the egg cook throughout if you stir it all through the rice. So you want to pretty much cook the egg just there in the well. And once the egg is cooked, you can start incorporating the egg into the rice. And then pretty much you're done. You can turn that stove off, just stir that up real good, and it's ready. And pretty much you can serve this just like this. If you can't tell, I don't serve a ton of sides every single night. Just because we pretty much we're eating carrot sticks, and we're eating celery, and we're eating cucumbers and apples and things like that pretty much all day long. And when we get home after school and work, we're snacking on these kind of things. So we do get our fruits and vegetables in just all at one meal. We don't sit and eat a huge meal. So that's why you don't really see a ton of sides. But thanks for watching this What's for Dinner video. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. Hit the post notification bell so that you never miss any recipes. And if you liked this video, please leave me a comment or a like. Thanks so much. See you next time.